So the next point we are going to discuss is the structure of the Union Public Service Commission in our country. Now, according to the article 315 says or gives the idea of the constitution, there should be a separate public service commission for the center and the state. It was declared that we have to be made the commission of the service commission in the central level separate and the state level separate commission. So both the state and the central we are going to see the commissions according to the article 315. 2 or 3 states may be connected. 2 or 3 states may be connected for one commission at the time of state level. And the president appoints the chairperson, the head person for the and the members of the central and the joint public service commission related to the state. All these candidates were selected by the President of India, and half of the members of this commission should have served as the government services in the government department, and the tenure at the period given for these members is 6 years. And attaining the age of 65 years or whichever is earlier to become the member for this. The president will have the power. The president will have the power to dismiss at any time to the member or the chairman in the ground of any misuse or the misconduct shown by the member or the chairman. But the commission works independently. The commission works independently, not with the support of any legislature or the executive. There is no relation with the executive and the relation to the commission. It may be the UPSC or it may be the state level service commission. Now, a secretary works for the commission, and presently it is based on the, as we are going to see in the New Delhi, that is the UPSC commission. So Union Public Service Commission, we are going to see only the one agency for the nation, and the other state level commissions are related to the one state or more than one state. That we are going to see. So present UPSC we are going to see in the New Delhi. So what are the functions of the UPSC? What kind of work going to do by the UPSC?
Base of Center of Delhi. The commission functions under the article of 320. It was under the article of 320 presented in our constitution, and the functions are conducting the exams. They will conduct the exams and recruit the post group A and B officers for the central government. They will select only for the central government. Conducting the interviews. After getting the exam, passing the exam, the next process is they will take the interviews for the direct recruitment also and selected people from the exams. Advising the central government, giving the advice to the central government on the issues related to the promotion and transfer of the people selected already in this central government, and advising the government on initiation of disciplinary to follow the discipline actions against the aiding the government employees are giving the trouble to the government employees. That time they will give the advice to the central government. On the direction of the president, under the control of the president, these people are going to advise the government at any need in related to the any issues for the employees. So this is the work of the function we are going to see, which is going to follow by this UPSC Commission, Union Public Service Commission. So the commission going to conduct exams for the civil services, technical services, forest services, defense services at the national level, not in the state level. In these exams, they are going to conduct for the civil service are more importance. They will give the more importance to the civil services post, like at the IS, IFPS and the IFS. I told before, now only. So the most important they will give IAS, Indian Administrative Service, IPS, Indian Police Service. Next, IFS, Indian Foreign Service. IRS, Indian Revenue Service. IAAS, that is Indian Accounting and Auditing Service exams, or some of the important exams were conducted by the UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission, and they are going to maintain the process for the selection of these people for the civil services. The first process is they are going to follow the preliminary exam. First preliminary exam, next one, after getting the pass of preliminary exams, they will select the candidate for the main exams. After completion of the main exams, they will send these people or select the people for the personality test. So these are the three post process they are going to follow in the Union Public Service Commission to complete the recruitment for the post of civil services. So this is the structure we are going to see, which is followed by the UPSC government for the recruitment of the candidate for the post of IAS. So first what they will do, they will take the preliminary exam, pre-exams, then after main exam, and lastly the candidate who have passed the main exam, they will select for the personality test. Personality test. And after getting the pass of personality test, this person is selected for the post of any civil services. Okay? So these are the important things we are going to see in the process of recruitment. So now after central, so this is belongs to the central level. After this, we are going to see the process of the state level also. The candidates are selected for the state level, but there we are finding the different commission. Which so the next point is we are going to discuss the point related to the state level. So our state, it means we are living in the state of Karnataka. So Karnataka government having the single agency which is going to recruit the candidates for the civil services of the highest post. So it has given the name Karnataka Public Service Commission. In the short, we can going to call it the KPSC. So this KPSC is going to maintain the process for the selection of the candidates for state level, not for the central level. So it runs on the process of the Union Public Service Commission. Here, on the basis of on the lines on Union Public Service Commission, the state have a Public Service Commission at the level as per the directions of the Constitution. In Karnataka, it is going to be called as the Karnataka Public Service Commission, and it was established. It has started on 18/5/1951. That to the state of Karnataka. It was started on the date 18/5/1951. The commission has one chairman, one of the head person for this commission, and was having 9 other members with the chairman. They all are appointed by the governor of the state. In central level, we are seeing the candidates are selected for the UPSC from the president, but the member for the state level, we are finding the power is given to the governor. Their tenure is for 6 years or completion of 62 years of the age, whichever is earlier. The main office is in Bangalore. The main office for this is in Bangalore, and the regional office we are going to see for the some divisions like Mysore, Belagavi, Kalburgi and the Shivamogga. These are the important 4 places we are finding the subdivisions, and remaining those are called as the regional offices, and the main office we are going to see in the Bangalore. So age of the retirement is 62 years, and we have seen for the UPSC they are having the 65 years. So like this way they are going to follow the process for the selection of the members for the KPSC and the UPSC. So as like the UPSC, some functions is going to follow by the KPSC, Karnataka Public Service Commission also. So what are the functions it is going to follow? What work it is going to complete? So first point is appointing the gazetted officers, appointing the non-gazetted officers for the state government through the written exams. By the written exams or an interview as per the directions of the state government and concern the department's recruitment rules. So it may be the department for the forest department, it may be the department for the education department, it may be the department for the industrial department, but all the need of the department, on the basis of the need of the department, these people are selected. That is the work going to do by the Karnataka Public Service Commission. By the, for example, a assistant commissioner, a tahsildar. Assistant commissioner means AC, and tahsildar, deputy superintendent of police. These are some posts are recruited by the KPSC, Karnataka Public Service Commission, or any state commission, not by the central. Central we have seen IPS, Indian Police Superintendent. You know the IPS we are going to see. That is district level we are going to find district superintendent, but the deputy superintendent is selected by the state level. Second function of this KPC is conducting the interviews for the direct recruitment of the candidates for the any post related to their agenda, and the conducting the departmental, you know, the integral part of the this government employees, it means the departmental exams for the state government employees. So who are already selected for the some post, for the promotion, the Karnataka Public Service Commission going to conduct the exams. Now, next point, fourth one is, it is going to give the advice, it is going to give the guidelines to the government on initiating or the following the disciplinary measures against the erring of officers. They have to follow the good assisted, good moral things in the discipline manners. That guidance is going to give by the KPSC government or the agency. Next, fifth one is coordinating the various exams conducted by the Union Public Service Commission in the state. So it will give the support to the Union Public Service Commission, which the posts are recruited by the UPSC toward the Karnataka state or any state according to their recruitment. Now, next point we are going to discuss in this class is related to the point of secretariat, or we can call it the secretariat. It may be for the central level, or the secretariat it may be for the state level. That we are going to discuss in this class. So today in this period I want to discuss the point related to the central secretariat. So what is secretariat? What is the work of the secretariat? We are going to discuss in this class. So next point is the secretariat. So today we will discuss the central secretariat. Central secretariat. So in the central secretariat we are going to see the office is there. Government people are selected for this office. The work to facilitate the efficient and capable administration of the government, to complete the process of the government, the one of the capable administration was developed, and various departments we are going to see in this secretariat, and the ministers are created. Ministers are selected for this secretariat office. The central secretariat is a mix of various ministries. It is having a mix of various ministries. The minister may belong to the industrial minister. The minister may belongs to the education minister. The minister may belongs to the health department. All these ministers are mixed. We are going to find in the secretariat office, that is in the central level. And these people, they are having different departments. The main responsibility of this secretariat is to aid the ministers who are political heads in running the administration. It gives show the plans, advise the plans to the ministers who are headed for a particular department, and they are in the secretariat. Now it has one of the chief secretary in the secretary office of the secretariat. Here the administration head and the prime minister as the political head of this secretariat. So administrative head we are going to find, the secretary is going to call, chief secretary is going to call as the administrative head, but actually the department is going to rule or run under the control of the political head, that is prime minister. So after knowing the point related to the secretariat, we are going to discuss the point how was the formation of the central secretariat begins in India. How it was developed in India, that we are going to discuss in the next point. Now, according to the Article 77 by 3, according to the Article 77 by 3, we are going to see the Constitution of India. This was formed, and the President of India has the powers to frame the rules to facilitate the smooth and efficient functioning of the Central Secretariat. It was formed on the basis of the 77 article and that to the third part of the Constitution, and it is going to run under the control of the President of India, and he has to perform or facilitate the smooth and efficient functioning of central government, and he is going to assign the portfolios for the ministers. Each cabinet minister will have the independent powers or the independent ministry. If their portfolio is bigger, if the portfolio is very big, state minister and the deputy minister would be there to give the support for them who are in the central level. One portfolio may have more than one department. For example, though the Home Minister, Agriculture Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister and others are independent departments, they can group under one secretary also. They can group under one secretary by combining all these home, agriculture, defense and the finance. So by this way they can complete the portfolio. Their portfolio is divided as following and each entrusted to the officers. The hierarchy of the secretary is as follows. There we are going to find the portfolio related to this secretary is: first one, the department principal secretary, additional secretary and the special secretary in the first division. Second one, we are going to see the wing. Wing means a group, joint. And second one is the additional secretary. Third one, division, or we are going to call it the director and the deputy secretary. And fourth one, we are going to see the branch, that is under the secretary. And the last one, we are going to find the section, that is the section officers. So these are the step by steps, the portfolio we are going to see in the central secretariat, that we are going to see in our article 3 of the Constitution related to the formation of the secretariat. So by this I will complete or stop the topic for this period. So I will continue the next topic in the next period. Thank you.
So, in the last class, we have discussed the point related to the training and the types of training. We have discussed in the last classes which are the candidates recruited for the government post. So, in this 13th period, we are going to discuss the point related to the public administration. In this public administration, we are going to discuss the main point related to the central level. So, these agencies, so it is one kind of agency which going to recruit or going to select the candidates for the higher post or the post related to the high authority for the public administration. That is going to call as the Union Public Service Commission. You can call in short is UPSC. So this UPSC is to be considered as the one of the center or the selection authority given to this commission to select the people for the national level for the post of civil services. You know the meaning of civil services means automatically we are getting the idea about the selection of IAS officer, selection of IPS officer, IFS officer. You know the IAS, Indian Administrative Service. Then IPS, Indian Police Service. Then IFS, Indian Forest Service. So like that way, these people are selected through the UPSC agency, so which is in the central level. That we are going to discuss in the today's topic. So through this Union Public Service Commission, we are going to find the only capable person who is not having the ability, they are selected for the civil services, the post of civil services, and at the time of selection, the political interference or the entry and nepotism should not be influenced at the time of selection. There was no influence we are not going to get in these commission. No recommendation from any politicians, and there is no nepotism. Nepotism means showing their personal relation to the particular candidate. No relationship at the time of selection. That type of process is going to follow in the Union Public Service Commission. Now, when the candidates are going to select for UPSC, the public service should be kept away from the influence of the politics and personal agendas. There is no any individual connectivity to the any person belongs to the Union Public Service from political side, or it means from the individual side. So that commission is there to perform the role for the selection of IAS officer, IPS officer, and the IFS officer. Now, children, you know got the idea how these people are going to select, and there is no any relations they are going to show at the time of recruitment. But it should be uphold, give the respect and dignity of all the civil services. They have to be show, they have to be give the respect to the all civil services, IAS, IPS, and the IFS services in this commission. The Constitution provides for the formation of independent public service commission in order to select. The Constitution give the idea in order to get the selection for this post and recruit the capable and the honest civil servants, the able and having the good ideologies, good honest persons are selected for the IPS, IAS, and the IPS, IFS posts by the process of our UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. So this is the thing we are going to see, which is made one of the agenda or one of the commission for selection of the candidates. So next point we are going to discuss how was the structure, what is the structure for the UPSC commission. That we are going to discuss in the next point.